Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another breaking figure news video. Ladies and gentlemen, Bandai Tamashii has given us a preview of the upcoming San Diego Comic-Con exclusives that we are going to be able to purchase. This is super exciting because obviously this will give us a little bit of a head start, kind of like an idea as to what to expect when it comes to these exclusives. We don't know all of the details yet, but I will give you some information that I know based on years past. So this post just dropped basically out of nowhere. I was literally chilling at my homie's house and I was like, I gotta go home and make a video. So as you can see, the Tamashii Nation's Instagram page and Bandai Collect have done a double post, right, where they're basically both posting it here, on Instagram of all of the exclusives. For some reason, by the way, this was on my, homepage here. I can open the Bandai Collect page, but for some reason, it won't let me open the Tamashii page. It keeps saying that something's wrong. Even if I, hover over it, I can still see the stuff, and I can still, open it in a new tab. I don't know. Kind of weird. I'm not sure why it's doing that right now. But, regardless, as you can see, the first figure is Goku and Gohan riding the Nimbus. Now, I'm going to give you all my thoughts about all of these, but let me show you everything we have on our plate first. Next up, we have Trunks, the Gallic Gun Trunks from Dragon Ball Super, which is really, really cool to see. And, of course, with these being convention exclusives, it would make sense, right, that obviously they're going to be special color variants. Some of them, when they do convention exclusives, aren't special color variants. Like this one with Goku is basically going to be like, oh, it's a little bit of a different outfit because this is based on the Saiyan rays on Earth Goku, and that one's a little bit of a darker orange, but obviously this one is going to come with Gohan. However, you can see that obviously they have these shiny metallic paint that's supposed to be like Trunks is actually firing the Gallic gun and the energy is enveloping him. And the final Dragon Ball figure. Ooh, I'm really excited about this one. I ain't gonna hold you. We have the special color version of Full Power Jiren. I am really excited about this one. Literally the only difference here I mean, the only difference that you see probably at first is the fact that the pants are reddish instead of black. But Jiren definitely has a lot more red tones to him. He's a little bit more pinkish rather than the actual gray color that he usually is. And I am actually really excited about this one because I did not get the original Full Power Jiren nor the actual regular SH FIGUARTS Jiren. So this will be an opportunity for me to grab the man himself, which is really, really cool. It does look like there's some shine on the boots as well. And then the other convention exclusives is a Kakashi and a Godzilla. I almost forgot the name of Godzilla. How could I forget that? So, here's what's really interesting about this, right? For one, we basically know nothing, right, about this because they just mention here. Oh, I guess Instagram's just having a heart attack, apparently. But they just mentioned here, right? This year we are exhibiting all the popular characters of the booth, but we have 5 exclusive items for you to get your hands on. More details are coming up, so keep a lookout for more info about SDCC 2024. As well, if we go on Twitter, they did actually tweet about it here too on the Tamashii Nation's official Twitter account, and it is just the same images, right? There isn't anything different, and it's just the same text. I figured I'd just include it in the video for the sake of it. Godzilla's also down here. Sorry, my boy, you got relegated to the comment section. Now, here's what's interesting about this, right? So, all of these are based on pre-existing figures, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth between a couple of tabs here and explain to you why, right? So the way that Bandai does this is that either they have a brand new figure or a special color version, but most of the time, right, it is just a remix or a special color version of another figure. Most of the time, an SDCC exclusive these days, at least, is not a brand new character, right? So if we go to Premium Bandai, and by the way, this is the thing that I wanted to mention, I'm sure some of you are probably thinking, well, I'm not going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, so how will I be able to get my hands on these figures? Well, my friend, I have the answer for you. In years past, right, since I think 2021, maybe something like that. I know it's been at least the last 3 years. basically what they've done is that every time they have a convention exclusive, they've put it up for availability on Premium Bandai. Now, obviously, the pre-orders have long closed for these because these are all from conventions past, but you can see here, right, special color edition for Beerus, Whis, Nappa, right, Android 17 and 18, which, funny enough, I actually have those two in storage. A buddy of mine went to the Tamashi store in California and picked them up for me. Shout out to the homie. But right, we have the SSBKK, right, obviously Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. We have the UI Goku, which actually I believe that one, I think may be an example of a figure that's only a convention exclusive, if memory serves. The convention exclusive version of Super Saiyan God Goku, right, where he has like the clear hair. Obviously the one from last year, I believe it was last year anyway, was the Broly from NYCC, right, obviously with the special color version. That's just a little bit different than the regular armor Broly, right. We had the shiny Shinron, right? We had the Android 16. We had Fat Boo, which I still regret not picking him up because I actually really want that figure. And Super Saiyan 2 Goku. That one actually is probably my biggest regret of a figure that I didn't pick up. But with that being said, yeah, Super Saiyan 2 Goku is actually a good example of another figure that's like they literally haven't made a regular one. It was only a convention exclusive that you could get them through. But last year, the convention exclusives were Majin Vegeta. He was one of them, which was obviously just like this exclusive edition of the OG Majin Vegeta, right, where the hair is just like kind of shiny and it's a little bit translucent, and it comes with this back piece, right, with the little like effect. Raditz, which I actually want to open this in a new tab because it's going to be helpful for us later, was one of them. And also Gohan, right, where they basically made the special color version of Gohan, and then they also included the Ghost Goku in that one. So when it comes to being able to purchase these figures, we will be able to buy them on Premium Bandai, right? I'll obviously make a video when they're available and talk about them then more in detail, I'm sure, because obviously we only have just literally the first images of them here, you know, to take a look at now. So don't worry about not being able to pick them up. Obviously, you will get the opportunity. Now, here's what I think is really interesting about these, right? So I wanted to take a look at these figures because I think that knowing where they kind of came from originally will be very interesting to see how they price them nowadays, right? So Trunks, right, if we're here on my figure collection, I use this website for all kinds of things to be able to keep track of figures and, you know, look up references for dates and money and all that type of stuff. This Trunks right here, right, obviously was originally, he has the base form head, but he also comes with the Super Saiyan head, right? And obviously, this is a very old figure by this point. Obviously, you can tell, right, by just looking at it, that obviously the joints look very old, especially considering to modern SHF quality. In fact, when did this thing come out? Is there a date here? 2018! Wow, November 22nd, 2018. That is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So, they're basically taking a figure from 2018, right? And then they're making a brand new version of it. In fact, if we go between these two, you can tell that this is the same figure, right? They didn't do any adjustments to the joints or anything like that, right? They didn't do any adjustments to probably the heads, right? Maybe they updated the face prints. It does actually kind of look like that, because one thing that they did do with, like if we go back and look at Gohan here, his face prints, even though it's the same mold as the original Gohan figure, they did update his faces a little bit to be a little bit more in line with modern SHF. So it wouldn't surprise me, and obviously we don't have all of the faces here, unfortunately. I guess this Screaming Head is probably the closest one, right, that we have to this. They definitely did update a little bit more because there's more lines that kind of try and make it look a little bit more anime-esque on Trunks's face. It definitely looks a little bit better than this one, I would say, right, which is like that Screaming Head right there. So that's pretty cool, right? They do tend to do that, I suppose, when it comes to re-releasing older figures. They did that with Majin Vegeta that I just showed. Now, I don't think that they'll do that with JIREN, though, because JIREN's head sculpts, I think, were pretty much fine for the most part. And if we go back and look, right, this is the original JIREN figure. Obviously, this guy is full power JIREN, but of course, right, it's just, you know, full power JIREN with the ripped pants, basically, right? There is no, you know, red. Did they update the face? It doesn't look like it to me. I don't think I can really see a difference between the grit teeth. Maybe a slight difference, but it's hard to tell because obviously he's looking down, right, and the angle is like also kind of looking down here, but not exactly. Either way, the point is that it's kind of hard to tell, but Jiren's faces were just fine, obviously, because this is a relatively new-ish figure. 2020, right, is when this guy came out. So I guess that is still 4 years ago. Holy cow, that's crazy to think. But he's a little bit more in line in terms of his faces with more modern SHF stuff. Like, I don't really think they needed to update his face. To be fair, a lot of the alien characters when it comes to Dragon Ball, like, not humanoid. Well, he is humanoid. You know what I mean? Like, Saiyans are humans, basically. The face sculpts are usually pretty solid on those because I think it's just easier to make, like, quote-unquote alien face sculpts or whatever. But anyway, yeah, so you can clearly tell the difference, right, between this Jiren and this one is obviously that the pants are going to be red, and you can really tell looking at these, like, not side by side, but switching in between them, right? You can really tell the difference that Jiren is very gray here on the original release, and here on this one, he is very pink, right? Which is, again, supposed to be like he's powered up into the full power form, right? So with that being said, I think that that's a really, really cool change, right? This is a perfect figure that I think that they, you know, can do for a convention exclusive. I think this is a fantastic idea for one, making just like a slight different color change. And if you didn't get the original Jiren, you know, you can get it now. And this is still different enough, I suppose, that even if you have that original one, you could still get this one, right? With Trunks, it's kind of interesting because I know that it's like pearlescent, basically, right? Let's go to this picture here because it's a good one to compare. I know that it's like pearlescent because obviously it's supposed to be like the Gallic Gun energy, but I feel like it's not as impactful as Jiren's, even though Jiren is a very simple change. But at least they updated the faces on him, right? And either way, it'll be a good way to be able to get this figure because I think this guy is a little rare nowadays because he's so old. And besides him, Goku, right? The Goku figure in the very beginning of this is based on the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. That looks to be the mold that they're using for this. I think, funny enough, the Nimbus may actually be taken from a Kid Goku figure because I know there's an SH FIGUARTS Kid Goku that comes with the Nimbus. But I think that this is what the sculpt is based off. Can we get a bigger picture here? There's a lot of pictures of this guy. I mean, to be fair, this is such like a classic Dragon Ball figure that it does not surprise me that there's so many images of this guy. Oh yeah, and this is stuff from like the effects pack and whatever. But anyway, yeah, so like you can tell, right, that obviously the orange is a lot lighter here. It's a lot more accurate to the manga colors, whereas this one is a lot more accurate to the anime colors, right? I think that's definitely what they're going for. But it's pretty clear that this is the same sculpt, right, for sure. This does come with a unique head. This is definitely a head that we've never had before. I'm not sure if that windswept hair is from the... Funny enough, we were looking at pictures from that effect pack. No, it's not the same one as this one. Okay, it is a little bit different. It's like more back, and that faceplate is definitely a new one. I think the interesting thing about this too is that not only is this coming with Nimbus, but this is coming with Gohan, and the only thing in recent time that Gohan has come with is, funny enough, the event exclusive Raditz, right? We got this little Gohan, which is not posable. It's just a little Gohan figure, like statue, basically. I was trying to see if there's more info about it. That came with that one. So I am going to be curious to see if this guy is posable. It's kind of hard to tell if his joints are actually posable from this image because like the shadows and everything. It's hard to tell. They definitely could just move up and down because obviously the articulation would be very minimal if you could do it. But it is interesting, I will say, because this is kind of weird for two reasons with Goku specifically, right? So first of all, talking about the price of these, right, before we get to that. When we go to Trunks' page, you can see that originally, right, it was 5,800 yen, right? So, like, I believe in the States here, that would be like 50 to 60 bucks, right? And then Jiren, right, was a 500 or a 5,500 yen figure, right? So, again, like 50, 45 bucks, something like that. Now, whenever they do these convention exclusive versions, they jack up the price a lot, right? Like, and that's also partially because of the extra accessories. Like, Gohan did not cost $90 when this original figure came out. But also with Gohan, you're getting an entire extra figure because you're getting the Ghost Goku, right? I think almost like a better example of this is the Majin Vegeta, right? This is still just Majin Vegeta, but you're getting the back piece, right? Is basically what the extra is. And he definitely did not cost $75 when he came out. So, if they do decide to include some extra accessories, right? Even if they don't, I would just not be surprised if they decide to jack up the price a little bit, because even if we look at like Broly, right, this guy is 90 bucks, and obviously they did include the you know, aura in the back, but even so, that is quite a bit more than the original Super Saiyan Broly, right? And he also came with a base form head and a powered, or I'm sorry, it was base Fury Broly and Super Saiyan Broly, and this one only comes with Super Saiyan heads, right? So they will jack up the price, you know, whether it be from the color exclusive version or from the extra like aura effects or whatever that they'll add in. But with that being said, it's kind of interesting because I feel like that almost will fit fine for Trunks and Jiren. But Goku is a little bit of an interesting one because I think this is such a cool pack to be able to get this little kid Goku here. But it kind of does feel like, and I know, I'm sorry, I always feel like I'm so negative on Bandai, but it's just because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that their business practices are stinky. So it makes me wonder sometimes, are they doing this because it's like, oh, it's a cool little thing? Or are they doing this because it's like, well, we know that we can make some money in an easy way, right? Because when I look at this, there's two main factors to this. For one, it's just Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, which is a figure that has existed since... where is he? Where's the original release date? View all three. Here we go. 2018, right? This guy came out in 2018. You can tell this guy is popular because he re-released again in 2020, 2021, 2023 twice, and again in 2024, right? You can tell that this is a popular figure. In fact, this is one of my first SHF figures. I love this figure. It's fantastic. He actually, funny enough, sits on the kitchen counter all the time as his current spot in the house. But with that being said, it kind of feels like to me that what they did was that they took that Goku, you know, obviously gave him a fresh coat of paint with making it a little bit more manga colored, gave him a different head sculpt, right, and a different faceplate, and then they retooled the Gohan, right, from this, right, and then obviously, you know, changed it up a little bit, right, obviously gave him a little different color because you can see the two little red things on here are black, right, that like kind of connect his jacket, whatever this is, right? I don't know the exact term, unfortunately, for the piece of clothing, but you know, for his clothes right there, right, it's clear that they gave him a little bit of a color scheme change. Obviously he has the hat, but it kind of feels like they did that and then they took the Nimbus from that kid Goku, right? Let me actually see if I can find that kid Goku figure that I'm talking about for that. So it kind of makes me wonder, right, if that's why they did this. Because this is obviously such an iconic scene and, like, you know, an iconic piece of just art in Dragon Ball like this. But I don't know, man. Like, maybe I'm just a little bit pessimistic when it comes to Bandai sometimes. Because I just know how they can be, right? And I know that sometimes, you know, they like to do stinky business practices like this. Which is just kind of unfortunate, to be honest with you. But, you know, I guess it's just, it is what it is. It's something of, you know, being familiar with how they work for so long that it kind of makes me wonder, you know, are they doing it because it's just an easy thing that they can do for convention exclusive, or are they doing it because it's something cool? And it is something cool, and I probably will still get this because I think that this is awesome, honestly, to have this particular setup. But, you know, it just kind of is a little bit of food for thought, I suppose. By the way, I did find that Kid Goku figure. It's this one, right? The Kid Goku from 2018. The Nimbus is right there. Where's that other picture of it? Yeah. It's hard to tell if this is the exact same one because obviously this is from the top. It does look like it was retooled a little bit because it doesn't look as like... It looks like there's more puffs almost of like the clouds. Is there any more images of the Nimbus specifically? No, I don't think so. It's just a bunch of images of Goku. This is a ton of images too because this is an old figure, so there's like a million things on here. But yeah, that's what it kind of makes me think. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. Definitely be curious to hear what you have to say. If you are looking for a base form Goku, though, there are so many options out there that this is not something that you need to get. However, obviously, if you've been missed out on Trunks or Jiren, this will be a fantastic opportunity to get both of those figures. And it does kind of make me wonder... You know, I always like to put my hat in there for a little bit of speculation when it comes to third-party shenanigans, because if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, you would know that we've sort of learned from, you know, observing that third-party does things because Bandai is either going to do something or in response to Bandai, and sometimes Bandai does things to sort of counteract third-party companies, and I'm sure that most of you are familiar. Let me see if I can actually pull this up. With, right, the, of course, demoniacal fit, what is he called? The something martial artist, greatest martial artist, something like that. For some reason, Instagram is having an absolute fit right now. I literally can't pull anything up. But I digress, right? Obviously, the DF, right, Goku, right? That figure is basically just the de facto like best Goku for most people right now. because it's a 3.0 Goku figure, right? And when it comes to these figures, a lot of people really want the 3.0 articulation for Goku, right? But when it comes down to it, for some reason, it just seems like that Bandai either, or whatever the case may be, right? They just haven't made a 3.0 Goku. And I know for a certified fact that Demoniacal Fit has been absolutely crushing it, right? Let me just pull up the image here, because I guess this will work, right? This figure right here, the Demoniacal Fit Goku, right, has made them an absolute killing because it's the only base form 3.0 Goku that's just base Goku out the gate, right? Kong, another third-party company, does have one, but you technically have to like combine Super Saiyan 3 in another figure. But this is just like the only 3.0 base form Goku that just straight up exists right now. And these have been selling like hotcakes. I've seen so many people get this thing that like literally could care less about third-party figures just because it's base Goku and he has the best articulation. So I don't know why Tamashii has not made a 3.0 Goku yet, because it would make them so much money they literally wouldn't know what to do with it. Like, it just seems like a very strange decision, but it almost makes me wonder if they're either saving it for something or they're just not ready for it yet, and so they're doing these re-releases of base form Gokus. I don't know that for sure. I'm just, you know, giving you my crackhead theory, right? So let me know what you think in the comment section about that. Obviously, you know, I always like to bring these things up because I'm just trying to keep you as informed as possible. But I am very excited for these convention exclusives. I think these are some fantastic choices, right? JIREN is definitely the one that I'm the most excited for because I've wanted JIREN for a while, and I know that on the aftermarket, he is pretty expensive. So I'm definitely pretty excited to cop him. And I may actually get Trunks just to have DBS Trunks under the belt, especially considering that Blue Vegeta is coming out later this year. This would be a good figure to pair him with, to do some father-son Gallic Gun shenanigans. And even this Goku, obviously, it's pretty cool. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear what you have to think. And with all that being said, I realized I kind of never finished my point with the 3.0 Goku, so I guess I'm just going to do this little aside here. Sorry. Basically, my whole point with this was just the fact that I'm sure that besides the fact that potentially re-releasing this guy or releasing him in this fashion, right, to counteract the 3.0 Goku, I am glad that this isn't a 3.0 Goku. I know that's a weird thing to say, but it would just be not a great move on Bandai's part to release the first base form 3.0 articulation Goku as a convention exclusive where not as many people are going to be able to get it as just an over-the-counter release. So I am glad that this is a 2.0 figure if they are going to do something like this, because that would have just been kind of a little bit of a stinky move, I think, on Bandai's part. It would have been a little bit unfair and just kind of wouldn't have really made sense money-wise, I suppose. But with that being said, we are very overdue for a 3.0 Goku. Like, they should definitely have had a 3.0 base form Goku out, like, literally years ago by this point. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Dokkan is out. Peace.